Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con over coming to you with another episode of Company of Heroes. This is a 2v2 coming between the yellow trunked forces, United States that is, of NDH, and up here in the north playing his Soviet allies, which are, curiously enough, he's in blue, but his base structures are in yellow. It is Let Me Down Slow, also from the NDH clan, I believe. Starting up over here in the northeastern side of things, in the purple trunks, we have the forces of Brickman playing OKW, and his other companion, also in OKW, is Henkajumper. Brickman has gone for a very, very early commander. We do see his breakthrough tactics, which means he is going to have a fair amount of call-ins. He's got that, was that Sturm Tiga later on? No, it is not. This is a Yag Tiga. Excuse me, wrong kind of Tiga. He's also going to have the opportunity to get the course with the Assault Artillery, the Panzer Fusiliers, and the Sturm Offizier. And I continue to say that the Sturm Offizier is kind of underpowered for what he really, can be in terms of a negative response. Going to see the engagement happen between OKW and those conscripts early on, but the Kubelwagen, as well as the Sturmpyos, are going to see those guys off the field rather quickly and efficiently. In the meantime, while everyone else is kind of getting themselves set up, let's go through commanders real quick. So, Let Me Down Slow is bringing guard motor coordination tactics, mechanized support tactics, and Soviet Combined Arms Army. His ally is bringing along tactical support, mechanized, and heavy cavalry. This mechanized doesn't see a whole lot of play, but it still can be kind of interesting every now and again. We'll see. And Henkajumper is bringing Scavenge and Elite Armor, as well as Breakthrough Doctrine in his own right. I would be very, very surprised to see two Breakthrough Doctrines on this map, but that would not be the first time that something like that has gone on. So, bear with me, folks. I'm sure that might be a possibility. I have heard some recent comments from you guys, by the way. I was waiting for the game to really get into full swing. I have heard some comments from you guys that videos are not going up in 1080p. I'm trying to work that out. I don't know why that is. My recording software every now and again gets a little finicky. And I had to reset my system recently, and that we're still trying to work out a couple of bugs here and there. So please do bear with me. I know that you guys want your World War II in full 1080p glory, but some technical bugs to work out. We are going to see that both Brickman and Henkajumper are going to kind of start to ambush these American forces down here. Brickman is definitely a little bit undersupplied in terms of troops, but all these riflemen are slowly getting picked out of cover like crazy. I mean, you get flanked on both sides. They have wounded one Sturmpyo unit fairly badly, but NDH is just getting smacked down hardcore.
A capture point is under attack.
I should mention, by the way, this is, I think, Road Over the Rhine in terms of the map. We are going to see in the north that the Soviets have managed to lock down this northern VP, and the game itself resets back to a 1-to-1 cap, with the Americans desperately trying to hold the center as they get pressed from both German forces, including one up this kind of very nifty mountain road into this bunker area. It will be interesting to see, will this Rifleman squad drop? He's getting a ton of firepower. At least one more model is going to go down. There we go. And if he just sits still, will he get it? Yes, he does. There goes the first blood, I think, over to Brickman. We're going to see an SWS coming in for both the German players. And let's also note we have, obviously, a support weapon Compania down for the Russians. And what else is Let Me Down Slow bringing on board? Oh, no, the Maxim. Okay, cool. Well, it is a problem, though, for the Soviet players that with his American ally pretty much pushed off the field, we are going to see a kind of a blob move around by the Germans. It's not to say everything's going to go completely their way. We do have a couple of TM-35 mines down on the field, and that's going to be kind of a problem for any kind of push. Here comes, and we see massive, massive losses coming down on those German squads. 4 guys falling, and a damaged engine going off. What's that from? Not from the, oh no, I guess it's another mine. Perhaps there's another mine in the area that I missed. Conscripts, in the meantime, are going to try to fight back, trying to hold down this strong point. You can see, I guess that Kubelwagen has gone down because of the Americans. But their life is not an easy one. You do see that they've been thrashed rather severely. Do we see any tech up at all? No. We see no secondary tech up, which seems a little bit bizarre to me. Oh, no, we do have a lieutenant out in the field. I didn't even notice that. Forgive me, guys. So we actually have a BAR lieutenant now. Not what you see very often, and the German player, by comparison, is now actually Henkajumper going for Scavenge Doctrines. He's got the Flak Panzer as well as the Jaeger Lights, if he should choose to do so. That's not going to make his life any easier, though. Although we are going to see the Soviets are able to lock down a fair bit of Henka's support. This Maxim setting up in this house is going to suppress these guys any second, I'm sure. We are going to see, but that both German players do have down a tech structure. Battle Group headquarters in the south for our Red German, and Brickman going for that mechanized regiment headquarters in the northern side of the field. The Maxim has seen fit to thrust away one of these Volksgrenadier squads. The other Volk squad's kind of shifting up, trying desperately to get into range. Incendiary grenade does go out, but Let Me Down Slow is on top of it. Of course he is. Let Me Down Slow we have seen play on this channel a couple of times before. And he is not always necessarily a joy to watch, but he definitely is a very competent player. As just saw an M20 scout car has gone out in the field. He's coming rather quickly. Those armored skirts, excuse me, I can't talk right now. But some Jaeger Lights are also on the field too, so while that M20 is going to be more than fine to chase with Kubelwagen and pressure this infantry for quite a bit of time, if it gets taken out, the Germans are going to be in quite good field position. And there's the M20 right now, going to just pick on that Kubelwagen and take it out, I'm sure. There we go. Unfortunately, those light vehicles cannot stand up to the heavy firepower of those 50 cal machine guns. Even more disturbingly, though, is the fact that this Maxim ties down 3 different squads of German troops, including this upgraded Volk squad that does back away now just in time. And the Rakettenwerfer is going to come out to put some pressure on this M20. Did I just see, by the way, is that another tech structure going down? Yes, we do see the Tank of the Battalion Command coming down for the Russians. And with a fair amount of fuel no longer in his control, I would be concerned if I were a USSR troop right about now. Jaegers are falling back to this garrison right about here. Fair amount of fire points to look out. Retreating fire with that Maxim may not be the best long-term option. Of course, now though, with the Panzer II being called onto the field by Brickman, we are going to see a far more effective German fighting force than the Americans and Soviets. Henkajumper, in the meantime, seems more than content to just kind of lay back and just sit with the 5 infantry squads. Kind of understandable. What do we have in the meantime, though? We are going to see it's 468 to 492. The Germans are finally losing some tickets here from a 2-to-1 cap, but do not see that cap lasting too much longer here. The Germans are pushing rather severely in the middle part of the field. But like I said, Brickman is calling in that Panzer II, and while that M20 has ruled the field for a good couple of minutes here, that will not be a long-term solution. It's going to take another strike at least from this Rakettenwerfer. Oh no, the Rakettenwerfer aims short and blows a hole in these sandbags instead. I gotta admit, I kind of like this particular map right now. You see, we have a lot of very, very interesting positions for fire back and forth. And this, I never really realized until now that this bunker up here in the center part of the map does really dominate the central area. It seems an obvious thing, and right now, to a certain degree, I kind of feel like it actually reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember the old Company of Heroes 1 kind of like elite map. I think it was called Assault. You had your own hero character and to take out progressive lanes of enemy troops, and a method very, very similar. I was thinking to like a World War II Dota. Panzer II, though, it has now revealed itself on the field. We do see conscripts are backing away rather quickly. Is this going to have been called out to support the troops in the north? But in the south, I don't think the Americans really have a whole lot able to fight off that kind of material. No, not a 6-pounder, 57 mil isn't it called in. But Henkajumper is now lofting some barrages in from an ISG, it looks like. And with that being the case, the Rakettenwerfer ISG kind of shift back and forth will be rather effective in dealing with any kind of extended anti-tank gun play. Captain, however, has been called in for NDH, so that means we can't see a Stuart out on the map, and the Stuart will be competitive against the Panzer Lux. but I'm not sure that would be the best option considering the status of the field. Captain is trying to come forward to put a couple shots in on that Panzer Lux, but the Panzer II is backing away way too quickly, leaving the captain to duel with an STG squad of Volksgrens. This Henkajumper, in the meantime, does try to take another couple shots on the M20, but does not manage to do so. Damaged engine has gone out. What's that from? Anti-tank grenades? I believe that's what it is. And that Panzer Lux is just taking a devastating hit from the Zisgun. Does it still have range for one more shot? I believe it does. Yes, it does. It goes down. It's actually completely and totally open, too. So, will we see a Russian version of that? I don't know. I wouldn't say so. But the Russians are hanging out an awful long time, and they have tried to call in. They're trying to take it and run. They are going to devastate one squad of Sturmpyos, but a Panzerfaust comes out and takes out the offending Panzer II, which leaves that Zisgun without a legitimate target, at least for the next 30 seconds or so. NDH decided to go for the tactical support company, so he's got the M1919s as an available call-in. You see a couple of them have already been placed on these rifleman squads. But he does also still have a fair amount of fuel in play, so I'm not entirely sure why he's really being so tentative about his vehicle call-ins. ISG does get picked off. Unfortunately, it is not going to be able to do very well against that M20. And the ISG is now attempting to be taken and escaped. Well, escaped somehow, and make an escape maybe? From the German forces, but I'm not sure they're really going to have the distance on that one. Those STGs can butcher those gunners pretty quickly. And all they have to do is just take out one model. Are they going to get it? There we go. Yep, one model does go down, which means that group has now fled from the field. But there's this massive, massive wave of American infantry in the area. They're going to pick up this other one pretty quickly, I'm sure. And guard border coordination tactics has been selected by Let Me Down Slow. He has also called in a T-70. So with the Germans in full retreat, even these Panzer Fusiliers are not going to be enough, I'm sure, to deal with this particular mob of American, not ingenuity, just American bodies. Panzer II is sliding forward, trying to get shots on that on the ISG. Doesn't manage to do so. That's going to be a successful steal by the Americans. In the north, we are going to see this Tank Infantry Battalion T-70 has shifted out and around. It's going to pick on this Panzer II quite a bit more. A rear armor hitter too, but it's not going to be enough. Are we going to see the Henkajumper get one final shot in? Yes, we do, and it's going to blow up in just a second. There it goes. It is now brewed up, and that is quite a problem, I would say, for the Soviets, who have now been kind of not so much wasting their fuel, but not using it necessarily to their full effectiveness. M20, in the meantime, does continue to be kind of a bother down here in the south. 10 kills already, 1-star veterancy, almost up to 2 stars as it is. And both of the German players are lagging badly in their call-ins. We are going to see a Schwerpanzer headquarters has been called in the north, though. Which means that Maxim, while an early field presence is not going to be a legitimate strategy in the long term, especially not in the north. But it seems NDH might be willing to kind of pick up the slack on that one. He has most of his call-ins already. There'll be a little bit of time before he gets that Calliope, but he has called in his major, so the battalion command is up, which means he's got access to those Shermans. And while that 3-centimeter anti-aircraft gun is decent, taking on a lot of heavy U.S. vehicles is really not in the job description. In the north, we are going to see the Soviets continue to have that kind of northern area locked down. Apparently Hurtworld has just posted a new announcement of devlog number 44. Nice to know. Panzer II, in the meantime, is sliding forwards, has gotten a couple of lines of sight on those infantry squads, and will devastate those guys pretty badly. But the ISG and that mortar squad being called in from the Soviets before will see the Germans backed away from the center position. Or will it? Lieutenant does get pushed back with heavy losses of Ibid on the same rifleman squads right there. Infiltration grenades go out, doesn't do a whole lot. Panzer II moves in, trying to take a line on the M20, I would say is a better idea, but no, he is not being aggressive on that one at all. Probably because there is that 57 mil that's right there. Mortar rounds, though, are coming in and are really, really hurting Brickman's troops. Brickman was trying to get close enough to get a shot or two, maybe even an incendiary grenade on the support troops. Not going to happen, though. Panzer II, in the meantime, is going to get forced back by the implicit threat of the 57 mil. And the Germans in the north, while they tenuously hold this area, what is this right here? A explosive trap of some sort, perhaps?
Heavy machine gun team, ready for
I don't know. But a 50 cal machine gun has been called in for the Americans. The Americans are just dominating the map in terms of just army size, straight up army size, that is. Which is going to be a problem if the Germans do not start getting a couple more bodies out on this map. Because they already have very, very minimal control over the VPs. You see the second one going right back into control of the Americans any moment now. But okay. Brickman has decided that he's going to have a Stukas of Fuss, and that is the way for him to deal with all of his troubles. I'm not sure I agree necessarily. I think it's a good idea to handle a lot of this infantry spam, especially to take out a support weapon collection in the north. But just as easily as those things can devastate the enemy forces, they can also be a complete and total whiff. And that, my friends, is always a problem. Panzer Fusiliers are going to try to fight off this M1919, but with the Maxims right there, it is going to be a very, very difficult prospect. And now the additional firepower of this 50 cal, I'm not sure there's going to be a whole lot of these German troops that are going to survive this kind of devastation. So that Stukas of Fuss was a good idea after all. One lucky barrage can take out a machine gun squad or two. Let me reach this camera back though, a little bit further to the way it had been. Trying to get more of a broad idea here. Oh no, in fact, interestingly enough, we are going to see it's actually an M5 half-track has been called in by NDH. No, not MDH. Let me down slow, it's called it in, excuse me. One more shot going to come in. No, it missed just short. That half-track's got to move out of there right now. One more shot will take it out. Brickman does sacrifice a Volk squad for it, but taking out that half-track is at least a fair trade. Not a decent, amazing one, but a fair one at least. Where's that fiery barrage gone down? Stukas of Fuss not being 100% effective. Takes out two guys initially, but that reload time takes forever. And that poor Panzer II has bought it in the meantime. Forgive me guys for not seeing what took that out. My guess is that 57 mil. There's a lot of pressure being placed on this battle group headquarters right about now. What's he calling in? It's a Panzer IV coming in. And that's now the retreat point for Henkajumper's troops. A good idea there, to be sure. Retreating back to base is always such a problem. Panzer Fusiliers, though, are going to be kind of ganged up on, maybe even taken out. Grenade does go out. Doesn't do a whole lot, a little bit of health damage. That's about it. These Sturmpowers are getting shredded. Those guys just disappeared in a welter of blood. They go down. But the Americans do finally retreat. I'm not sure if it's intelligently or not, but they do finally retreat. That's the important thing for the Germans. It's all they care about. 454 to 375. The Americans still have, and the Soviets still have a very, very good position over here in the north. First of all, the M5 half-track is being supported by machine guns, a Zis gun, and a mortar. And that's a kind of a problem right there. It's not marked target right there. That's just a recon flight, I think. Yes, P-47. Yes, the P-47 is going to kind of spin around in the area ever so delicately. Probably take a fair amount of firepower from that Schwerer Panzer headquarters, and in doing so, that could be taken out rather quickly. The mortar that's what it's for. The mortar is just going to start unloading on the headquarters, and if that does go down, that is quite a devastating loss for Henkajumper. That could be a big hurt right there. Stukas of Fuss is coming back forward again. Going to launch another barrage. Where it's going in is the question. Loft that barrage, my friend. Loft that barrage. And a Calliope has been called in by NDH additionally, but at the same time, that thing has not done a whole lot. He has lofted a rounder too. There we go. Yikes. That Zis half-track has now been very much wounded. But not getting the kind of connections I was hoping for. Calliope did get 7 kills, excuse me. I guess it was much more effective than I thought. There's an awful lot going on in this field right now. Targeting the battle group headquarters. And actually, that was a very good idea. Slaying a lot of his opponents. a very, very effective barrage. Panzer IV has announced itself in the north, taking some firepower from the Zis guns, taking some incidental firepower from a whole lot, really. Damage reduction does go off from the anti-tank grenade, and these Volkskriegs are desperately trying to get around. Yikes. Explosive trap goes off. Explosive device, what have you. The C4, the whatever you want to call it. And these Volkskriegs have now been completely and totally suppressed by this Zis machine gun. And are forced away. Panzer headquarters is almost dead, and we're going to see 448 to 355. A lot of action is still happening on this field. Is the Calliope moving up for another barrage? I believe it is. And another Calliope is getting called in actually right now, so now we definitely need to keep an eye on this because... Barrage City. Oh no, P-47 is being called in so we can see where to fire his and all of his deadly, deadly rounds. Any second now. Well, the captured ISG has managed to get itself 1-star veterancy. And right now you have to cannot be impressed by all of NDH's successful vetting operations. But here we go. Another barrage is going to go in right back on this battle group headquarters again. Going to miss a little bit. Might even see the second one fire off its barrage in just a second or two. Yikes. And that P-47 narrowly misses the battle group headquarters, but how often do you get to see that? That just like never happens. Stuka-Safus fires back. Where's it barraging though? Oh no, he's going for the north. Is he going to take out that house? Yes, he does. He takes out that machine gun to the north. He does decrew that Zis gun. But number 2 has yet to fire, and here it comes, I'm sure. Oh my gosh, there's a T-34-85 on the field as well, so that Panzer IV is definitely going to be outshot. And now being a little bit closer, we're going to see a much more targeted grouping. On this battle group headquarters, those Panzer Fusiliers suffering, excuse me, the Jaeger Lights are suffering badly, just draining so much health and manpower from Henkajumper's troops. The Cherry Panzer headquarters has gone down, been taken out by the T-34. And with that thing taking out his opponent, I don't think the Germans have a whole lot that can really kind of fight back. Could be rather devastating. I don't know, folks. M5 half-track is a little bit hurt right now, and to be fair, let me down those troops have been kind of wounded by the intense amount of firepower being thrown their direction. While the Soviets might be wounded at the moment, the Americans are actually still in pretty good shape. And now guard squads being called in. In the meantime, those anti-tank PTRS rifles are going to be a fair response to the Panzer IV and the limited armored vehicle play from Brickman. That is to say, absolutely none of it since those 2 Panzer IIs. Machine gunners are desperately trying to shoot down that spotting P-47. And where are those rounds going? Okay, so we missed one set of rounds from that one Sherman. Got a bunch more kills though, good gosh. 19 kills on him already. And guys, that's the whole thing about the 2v2. Sometimes it's very difficult to find all the action for you guys. Forgive me if I'm missing something right about now. We are going to see it might be even a trip cap though for the Americans and the Soviets. Oh, no, I was wrong. The Obersoldat in the middle have successfully captured the middle VP, but it immediately is going to be taken back out, and the Zis gun is able to probably take back and take out, excuse me, the Rakettenwerfer. Rockets galore are just being thrown at this battle group headquarters. If this thing gets taken out, that is a loss of those medics, and that is an expensive fuel investment, especially considering the current status of the, what's the term I'm looking for here, of the German players. The ZIS half-track, ZSU half-track does get taken out. I'm calling it a ZIS half-track, excuse me, folks. But the ZSU half-track does get taken out. This is almost ready to fire again. It's got about, what, 15 seconds, 20 seconds left to go. Check back on that in just a couple moments here, guys. But even though the ZSU has been taken out, that T-34-85 is still a devastating beast. And I'm really expecting to see another... Yep, P-47 recon run just kind of comes in pretty much on cooldown, it feels like. Just enough munitions every single time. So the Shermans can find their range. And here it goes yet again. Is it going to be a takeout this time? No, it is just going to be more and more wounds on those hapless German squads. NDH still has another round ready to come in, I'm sure. Captain is trying to slide forward, trying to take that battle group headquarters out. Not quite ready to happen, though. I just heard Sherman Calliope, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. More firepower being slung at that SWS. And I don't think that thing is going to survive, even with the help of this Panzer IV coming forwards here. Oh no, Stukas is firing, and where that fires, things die. Where are those rounds? No, it doesn't do diddly squat. Taking out one model, maybe.
We have Krauts just wasted some of our riflemen.
And yes, riflemen have been taken out by the Panzer IV, and that is just a terrible, terrible thing. But I think in return there's going to be another building lost here. I'll take another rocket or two, and that's about it. And there it goes. That's it, folks. That one is gone. And with that being gone, Henka has absolutely nothing but Volksgrens and his call-ins. And considering how disturbingly effective all that firepower has been from NDH and his ally, Let Me Down Slow, I don't think the Germans can really come back on this one. 448 to 241, we are going to see the Germans are desperately trying to stave off imminent defeat, taking back one of these VPs. Allied barrage incoming. Where's the Allied barrage incoming? Oh, jeez. Little Katya is apparently now been called onto the field for the Russians. Those big, big rockets chasing away anything that can be conceivably be considered a member of the German Reich. Kazakhs, in the meantime, are going to slide up around this particular Panzer IV. Will they get the AT gun, AT grenade off? Surprised they haven't thrown it already. Geez, the Americans and the Soviets are just chasing this Panzer IV away. It's a bazooka, my friend. Come on, that thing is pathetic by comparison. Even the M9 bazooka, increased penetration, a little bit better of firepower, and still it's not going to be enough to really be truly, truly disconcerting. I'm waiting for the imminent barrage. 26 kills. Where is that guy aiming? He is setting himself up. Oh, I don't know, but instead we're going to see this Stugos and Foos barrage. Again, though, not accomplishing a whole lot. Maybe taking out that mortar squad, but that's about it. Yep, that goes down. But in terms of really, really effective long-term firepower, I do not think the Germans are able to recover. And you see it right now happening. The map turning blue more and more. The color of democracy and communism uniting. The reds and the blues have put aside the common differences to beat down the Germans, apparently. The Crouches are not having a good time. NDH has lost a fair amount of his high-vetted infantry, but he has seemed to be able to recover from that, at least partially. I would love to see a triple barrage of this Katyusha and these two Sherman Calliopes all at the same time. It'd actually be kind of fantastic.
Looks like we're getting into the exciting.
And an Su-85 has been called out in the meantime as well, and a M10 is going to be the choice for NDH. Come on, my friends, fire your rockets.
That's it, fellas. Knock their fucking block off. Germans have 200 points left.
And we're going to see right about now, just it seems instead that the U.S. and the Soviets are just more than content just to kind of hang out in the middle of the field here. Imagine the second that we see a big push, though, of German infantry, we will see this indirect firepower being lofted to the north.
A capture point is
Or perhaps I am wrong. Perhaps I misdiagnosed this particular decision. But there we go. Katya opens her mouth and she nearly takes out one squad. There it goes. One squad is gone already. Rockets are going every which direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is the 4th of July up here, guys. Yikes. And Henkajumper loses just about all of his infantry for one excellently placed explosive device, and Ostman's been called onto the field. But what are you going to do with this? I mean, I'm not sure that's going to do anything. Stukazafus fires back. Might be able to take out this mortar. No, it does not. The mortar continues to live and let live. Su-85 comes around this Panzer IV, blows a hole in its engine. Another shot comes in from the Su-85, and this Panzer IV is going to buy it. That is one. He's out of control. Henkajumper's got 2 guys to his name. Brickman, not much more than that. Brickman's got a couple. The Stukas and Fusses. But that's not going to be a whole lot of use in a pitched battle here. T-3485 finds its opposite number. He also might have gotten a minute look at the Stukas and Fuss. But yeah, I'm going to pretty much call this one in favor of the Allies here. Another recon flight being called in. Are we going to see 2 stars of veterancy in either one of these Calliopes? No, 31 kills to 15 kills. Shockingly. Not yet enough. Yikes. Apparently I missed another barrage coming in from the Stukas and Fuss, but not doing diddly squat again. Now these flak turrets in the middle of the field are trying, back in the home field, are trying to shoot down this P-47, and it appears the Germans have recognized how futile resistance is. They have just given up in the face of just overwhelming firepower. Looking again at this strong point created in the north, you have this Zis gun backed up by these 2 pop gun Sherman Calliopes with those rocket launchers on the top. The Su-85, the Panzer, and the T-3485 rushing forwards. There just was not a whole lot the Germans could do on this particular map. Nevertheless, well played to NDH, and well played to let me down slow, and at the same time, well played to our German players. Brickman and Henkajumper, you don't always win, but it's how you play the game, and thank you for not throwing salt. That's always such a downer these days. Alright folks, I'm going to call it quits for the time being. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't like it, well, then keep coming back. Maybe we'll throw up something you like soon. Nevertheless, this is Con Oryx signing off. Take it easy, everybody.